Hello and welcome to my channel, Crochet and Copy. My name is Judy. Today I'm going to show you how to make this lovely puff stitch shawl. Let's get started. I just wanted to show you the measurements of our shawl before we get started. Of course, it's going to go off camera, so I pre-measured it already for you. So from one end to the next end of our shawl, it's 64 inches. And from the top center all the way to the bottom V center of our shawl, it's 33.5 inches. So that's our measurements before we get started. These are the supplies we're going to be using to make our puff stitch shawl. I go over them with you. The yarn that we're using is from the Barnett Softy Cotton. It's the 60% cotton and 40% acrylic. It's the light 3 and the color is sandstone. And we're going to be using 3 of these to complete our shawl. And also to make the puff stitch, we're going to be using the Barnett, the Softy Baby. That's 100% acrylic. It's also the light 3. And the color is the antique white. And we only need 1 of those. And we're going to use our scissors. And lastly, our yarn needle. So that's it for what we need as our supplies. So let's get started. So for us to get started, what we're going to do is make a slip knot. This is how I make my slip knot. I take the yarn, drape it over my 2 fingers, let it fall to the back, take my hook, pull up a loop of yarn. There you go. Have like a knot. Tighten it against your hook. And there you go. So now chain 5. A chain is just yarn over and pull through, 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 yarn over and pull through. And now we check to see if we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're going to do a slip stitch into that first chain we made. Okay, so you go into it. Then you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull across those 2 loops we have on our hook all the way across. And there you go. So you have a circle, okay? So now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And this chain 3 count as one of our double crochet. So now I'll show you the double crochet, what we're going to do, because in this circle we're going to put 3 double crochet, chain 2, and then we're going to put 4 double crochet. So I'll show you. Yarn over, first double crochet, go into our circle. I like to hold on to my tail so I could put it in, and pull up a loop. So you have 3 loops of yarn in your hook, yarn over again, and you're going to pull across the first 2. There you go. Now you have 2 loops on your hook to complete the double crochet. Is just yarn over and pull across. There you go. That's your first one. So we need 3. So here we go. Pick up a loop again. Go into your circle. Pull up a loop. Yarn over. Pull across the 2. Yarn over. Pull across the 2 more. That's it. One more time. Yarn over. Go into your circle. Pull up a loop. Yarn over. Pull across the first 2. Hold on to it, and then yarn over and pull across. There you go. So now chain 2, 1, 2, and now into our circle again. We're going to put 4 double crochet. So here we go. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull across the first 2, and then to complete it, yarn over, pull across the last 2. 1 and 2, and this will be your last one. Yarn over, pull 2, and then complete it 3. So there you go. So in our circle we have, remember I said the first chain 3 we did count as double crochet. So when you count it, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 double crochet for round 1. This is round 1. We completed round 1. So now round 2, you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And turn your work. And now for that first stitch right here, we're going to put 2 double crochet, okay? Yarn over, first stitch, yarn over, pull through the first 2, and then yarn over, complete it. So back down into that same stitch, yarn over, and then yarn over again, pull up 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull across the first 2, complete it, pull across the last 2. There you go. So now we're going to do that till we get to our chain 2 space. It's just a 1 double crochet into each of these stitches, okay? So yarn over, next stitch, okay, 1 more stitch right here. And now we're at the chain 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 double crochet to start off with. So yarn over before you go into your little gap there, and then yarn over, pull across. There you go. And then we're going to go back into that same little chain 2 space gap, yarn over, pull up, then yarn over. So that's 2 and chain 2, 1, 2. So this is the pattern and design what we're going to be doing, okay? 2 more double crochet into that space, chain 2 space, okay? There you go. So that's how it looks so far with our chain 2 space. Now we're going to do till the end 1 double crochet into each of our stitch. So that's 1, 2, there's a stitch right there, and that's 3. So now to complete round 2, the chain 3 that we made from the previous row, what we're going to do right on top of that, we're going to put 3 double crochet, okay? So just put your needle right there, yarn over, pull up, then yarn over, pull across. So it's on top of the chain that we made, and that's to complete round 2. And that's how you look so far. So that's completion of row 2. So now row 3 we're going to start. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's the pattern with the same thing that we just did for row 2. We're going to do for row 3. Again is our first stitch right here. Right there we're going to put 2 double crochet. So that's 1, and that's 2. And then the following, till we get that to that chain space right here 2, we're going to just put 1 double crochet. So we made it to our chain 2 space. So again, we're going to put, to start off with 2 double crochet. So that's 1 and 2, and then chain 2, 1, 2. Back down into that same space. We're going to put 2 double crochet. That's 1. So it's the same pattern we did for round 2, row 2 I should say. Okay, and then for the following till we get to that chain 3, we're going to do 1 double crochet. Okay, so we did that 1 double crochet till we made it back to our chain 3. The top of it, we're going to put, remember, 3 double crochet into that top of that chain, right in there. So that's 1. That same chain, 2, and 3, and that's it. Okay, so that's for row 3. So that's it for row 3. Keep on repeating row 2 till you get all the way up to row 37. And when you get to row 37, you're going to have 296 double crochet. So jot down where you at, because for each row, we're going to be increasing 8 stitches on each row. And I'll meet you there. Keep on working with that. So we made it up all the way to row 37. So now for row 38, we're going to start designing our puff stitch. But before we do that, we have to change our color. So we're going to change the color on the last double crochet that we're going to be making for row 37. So I'll show you how to do that. This is our last one for row 37. So yarn over, go into, remember it was on the chain 3 that we made from the previous row. On top of that, go into that stitch, pull up a loop, 2 loops we're going to pull with the old yarn across. Now pick up your new yarn and drop your old yarn, give it a nice tail, and then just yarn over your hook and pull across those 2 loops we have remaining on our hook, and that's it. And just tighten it up a little bit so it stays in place. And that's how you change color for a yarn. And of course, I already cut off my old yarn. So now for row 38, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And we're going to turn our work, and the puff stitch design is going to be yarn over and skip the first stitch that's right there, and we're going to go into the next stitch, and we're going to put the puff stitch there. So you yarn over, go into the second stitch, pull up a loop, and we're going to do this 5 times. So yarn over again before you go into that same stitch and pull up a loop. So that's 2, yarn over 3, 4, and 5. And by doing that, we want to have 11 loops on our hook. So let's count to see if we have them right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And to complete our puff stitch, yarn over and pull across all those loops on our hook. There you go. To hold it in place, we're going to chain 1. That's it. I'll show you another time. Yarn over, skip the next stitch, go into the following. We're going to yarn over before we go into our stitch 5 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. To complete it, yarn over, pull across all of our loops. To hold it in place, chain 1. That's it. I'll show you one more time. Yarn over, skip the next stitch and the following. 5 times you're going to pull up loops. And this is the pattern for the puff stitch design for row 38, okay? So yarn over, pull up loops 5 times. Okay. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. one more time, and 10. Just double check to make sure you have them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and pull across. Chain 1. And that's how we do our puff stitch. So keep on doing that till you get to the chain 2 space, and I'll meet you there and I'll show you what to do there, okay? Keep on working. So we made it up to our chain 2 space, and that's all we're going to do is chain 2 to keep that same pattern. And of course you have completed your puff stitch, and we did do that 1 chain up here already, so it's going to be additional 2 chains. So 1, 2, and that's it, to keep that same pattern here that we have. So now we're going to use that as our skip space. We won't put anything in the chain 2 space, and we're just going to go into our next stitch and we're going to do the puff stitch. Remember, your puff stitch is pull up 11 loops before you complete it. Okay, so keep on working with that pattern till you get all the way to the end, and I'll meet you there. So we made it to the end of our row, and we're going to skip that stitch right there and put our last puff stitch right here. So with the completion of that last puff stitch for our row 38, we should have 146 puff stitch. So now the same thing that we were doing for each row by increasing it, we're going to put 3 double crochet into the top of the chain 3 that we made. So, and then we're going to change the color in the last stitch because we're going to go back to the original color. Okay, so I'll show you how to do that. So let's start with the first double crochet. That's 1. Back down into that same chain. 2. And now we change it. Remember, it's the last stitch. So make a nice long tail. Get back our original color. Yarn over and pull across. And that's it. And that's how you change the color again. Tighten it up a little bit. And I cut off the white yarn later on, but I just want to continue showing what we're going to do next. It's the same thing that we're doing the whole design till we get up to row 37. So we're going to continue working with that same pattern. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then in the first stitch we're going to put 2 double crochets. So it's the same thing again. Keep on following that pattern that we did, and then I'll meet you at the end of row 39 and I'll show you what to do next. So basically we made it to the end of our row 39. So now remember, for 38 we started with chain 3. So the same thing that we did to do the whole shawl, that same pattern that we follow, we're going to do that for the top of the chain 3. We're going to put the 3 double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's it to complete row 39. So now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and return our work, and we're going to do the same pattern all over again for row 40 that we did for our whole pattern again for the shawl. Okay, so I'll meet you there. So keep on working. Now we made it up to row 40. We did those 2 rows, 39 and 40, with our main color, and we did the same pattern we were doing to make our whole shawl, just a regular double crochet. So now I'm going to show you how to cut it off because we're finished. Yeah. So we're going to do 1 chain and then pull up a nice tail so we could tuck it in, and I get my scissors and we're going to cut it off, and we're going to and also my yarn needle, and I show you how to tuck in the ends. Okay, so that's it. So to get started, where we cut off from our main color and our the yarn we used to make her puff stitch, we're just going to give it a nice knot so it holds it in place. Now grab my yarn needle and we're going to start tucking it in. So when I finish tucking those two ends, and I have the extra tail I'll cut off in a minute, but I just wanted to show you this is our last part of our work. I'll show you how to tuck it in, okay? So that's how it looks when you tuck it in. And I already did the other ends. Tuck it in and make sure they're all in. So that's how they look. Okay. That's it. We completed making our puff stitch shawl. I think it came out pretty nice. We did great work. I hope you enjoyed it. And let me know what you think. Take care. Bye-bye.